born in '87 to a Roberts and Roberta, okay? And if you ask either one of them, it took my mama 9 months, 48 hours, and 22 minutes to give me birth. And you would think after all that time, Robert and Roberta wouldn't have just named me Robert. You know, in college, I had YouTube. In the 80s, they had the disposable camera. All they had was time. And now all our family photos look like that popular Spider-Man meme. Robert, okay, anyway. I don't know, I had a tough mom. My mom was tough. She was very tough. She's from Trinidad. She's from Trinidad and Tobago. So I'm first generation. So technically, I'm not allowed to believe in that word, trauma. So I'm saying we believe in our household. Oh, she was very tough, Caribbean woman, man. I didn't know personally, but she was 3-0 against my daddy. 3-0. Undefeated. She beat the hell out of my daddy. She beat my daddy so bad that he converted to white women. It was how I watched her deliver the people's elbow from her granite countertop. She told me that was a privilege, and I'll tell you that I was short, loud, and anxious around strong women, making me the Black George Costanza. My father, he later he moved on to marry this thin little white devil. She had a long back, very long back. Back so long when she sat down, it looked like she was standing up. You know? My favorite part of that joke is looking in the eyes of weedy white women. The kids around the way always ask me, Rob, what's it like having a white mom, a white stepmom? And I would tell them that the sugar to Kool-Aid ratio in my household was as instructed. You know, so you learn a lot about the whites when you live behind enemy lines. Y'all do embarrassment. You understand that? Y'all don't get embarrassed. You don't get embarrassed about your dance moves. You got this goofy ass saying, dance like no one's watching. Hey, Elizabeth, everybody's watching when they're off beat. Not embarrassed about the lack of seasoning on your food. Wait, why is pepper spicy? Explain, okay, anyway. You're not embarrassed about keeping your kids on leashes? You will fight me to keep your dog off of one? Speaking of leashes, the last name Smallwood's really holding me back from being the alpha that I want to be. Small is a tough last name to have. It's not the most intimidating name in the world. I didn't know that much about my last name. We're doing a lot of research. Been using Ancestry.com to track down anybody who's white with the last name Smallwood. So I can send them a mass email that says, let's talk about reparations real quick. Smallwood's a tough name, man. Very tough name. Didn't know much about it. I did learn recently that the White House was built in 1792 by slaves. And all those slaves had the last name Smallwood. It's crazy. I didn't learn that in a history book, not a history class, not genealogy class. I learned from my very white girlfriend who receives monthly pamphlets on how to be a better ally. Look at how far we've come, you understand? I thought I would walk so I can, okay, anyway. Here's a story where I know that I didn't know much about my last name. I was out on a date with this Indian chick. It was a phenomenal date because it's kind of hard to find brown on brown contact in Los Angeles. Specifically when you're 5'6" and below. Date was not going well. And she was like looking for a way out. She, in the distance, saw this other Indian gentleman she didn't recognize, or she recognized. Didn't know his name, waved him over, guy comes over, reintroduces himself. Says his first and his last name. From his last name, she was able to tell me what village this guy was from, their imports and exports, and what medical school his parents wanted him to attend. And I got a little sad, because I'll never know what that's like. You'll never be able to say my last name and tell me where I'm from. Why? Slavery! And she was like, I told her this. She was like, oh my God, Rob, I completely understand. White people, they came to our country, colonized us, and stole our spices. And I said, damn shame because they didn't use them. They did not use